Hey, we're here talking to my friend Bill Crawford, a real icon and pioneer in the field. So it's appropriate we're talking about Jack LaLanne as well, because you actually worked with Arthur Jones, who created Nautilus.
I did work with
Tell
Arthur.
me about that.
Well, it was quite an experience. It's actually the pathway for my involvement in weight resistance exercise when I met Arthur. Right, I was just brand new in the business, and we met Arthur, and we decided to open up Nautilus clubs in Los Angeles, and the rest is
That was
history.
you.
That was me.
That was great. Wow.
Well, I got to give a little credit to Sean Harrington and Earl Shaitman. We all three were involved in the very beginning there, in the beginning. But I stuck with it. 46 years later, I'm still doing the same
No
thing.
kidding, that's a great one. What's interesting about Nautilus is it changed the whole world of fitness and strength training.
It
in many
made
ways.
weight resistance exercise accessible to everyday people that didn't know what to do, how to do it, how to move through the movements. Nautilus made it easy.
It was like one repetition to max, is that correct?
One set.
One set,
of
right.
12 to 14 repetitions
One
to
set.
muscle failure. And the window was, if you could only do 2 or 3, you were lifting too much weight. If you could go to 15 to 20, it wasn't enough weight. It was determined that if you could hit that muscle fatigue somewhere between 8 and 12 repetitions, that was the magic moment. That's where all the benefit takes place.
Because I remember at that time I heard the one set, 15 repetitions or to max was the game plan. And it changed everything because the time component.
Correct.
And it took a while for people to understand that was really something that really worked.
A lot of people didn't believe it. A lot of people still don't believe it. They do multiple sets, but we now know that less is better.
Interesting. He was also an eclectic guy, wasn't he? Tell me about that.
Very much so. His airplanes, his philosophies, his work ethic, his extravagant spending, trips around the world, his lifestyle. And you know, it's interesting that we're talking about Jack LaLanne, Pride and Discipline, because they were both iconic movers into the fitness industry. They kind of worked in parallel universes.
Yeah.
Jack LaLanne started so many things.
Oh, yeah.
So many things.
Absolutely.
And Arthur was in a little bit of a different world. He was more of an engineer, and he, for better word, probably perfected the engineering of the apparatus that we had. He's the one that discovered that you needed to have equalized resistance to the full range of motion. And if you trained muscles in isolation through the full range of motion to muscle fatigue, that was probably the best way to get the muscles to respond. And Jack was out there pulling the masses in, getting people involved in exercise, letting people know that they could be motivated, they could achieve their goals, and they could have all of the benefits of exercise by exercise.
Well, you bring up a good point, because that really created a great 1-2, punch, so to speak, to the fitness industry. Because Jack, of course, made us all aware that there was that industry. And then Arthur Jones really took it to a different place, specializing in strength training, which also became an understandable way to also aerobically train, which was also involved with strength training.
We learned that you could take an anaerobic exercise and then turn it into an aerobic exercise with the intensity.
And speed.
And speed. And now, of course, when I first started doing this, the medical community were not really in favor of weight resistance exercise.
That's right.
It's bad for your muscles, it's bad for your bones, it's bad for your joints, it's bad for your heart, the muscle's going to turn into fat, on and on and on and on. Of course, we've changed that now with our persistence of driving this forward, improving, getting universities and learning centers involved in the study of exercise and all the benefits. And now we know that weight resistance exercise is huge. If you could take all the benefits of exercise and put them into a pill, you have the wonder drug of the millennium. It kind of fell over a cliff during the latest pandemic, which was very frustrating to know that people's access to the best thing possible for them to be doing at the time was taken away from them.
Right.
It was very frustrating, and I think we're back on track again.
Thanks to Jack, who actually stayed the course, because he was criticized for those things early on. So
He was.
Our credit to you as well, and Arthur Jones and Jack and all these early pioneers, because you two have really done some incredible work.
Well, thank you. Jack was an absolute inspiration, pioneer. I know that he inspired me early on in my career when my friends and family were saying, hey, you're going down the wrong road here. This is another fad. Get back on track. And he said to me, kid, This time fitness is here to stay. You're on the right track. Stick with it. Love Jack LaLanne.
Wow, there you go, Jack LaLanne, right again.